That's super loud, the music. I didn't screw it up this time, though. I just was super loud.
It's always nice when you can make a point of that. Didn't screw it up this time. Just want somebody to mark. Make a mark. Somebody mark the calendar.
My motto, didn't screw it up this time. Thank you guys for listening. This is our weekly Facebook Live, YouTube Live. And I was even thinking, and I thought about it like 5 minutes ago, but I don't even know how to do it. I got to test it. The new Twitter, the audio little thing that's available for everybody now. We should try that next week too. Just add one more thing in here for me to screw up.
Why not?
The tech guy at Herd Media, right?
Just keep piling on until he falls apart. Isn't there a kids game? What was that kids game where you'd have like either break the camel's back or there was the buckaroo donkey, whatever, putting, like the little, of course I had one of those. It was like a little miner's donkey and you keep adding stuff to his little bags and pretty soon he'd buck and they'd all go flying everywhere.
What?
Because it was too much stuff. You keep adding stuff
I don't remember that.
You ever
game.
play Break the Ice? Remember playing that game?
I don't. What was that?
It was just a little square and it had all these little cubes on it, and you take your little hammer and like tink 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 and knock a cube out. It was kind of like the precursor to Jenga. And you're taking out pieces, but you don't want the whole thing to fall apart. And so you tink 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 one little cube of ice and it'd fall, and then tink 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 and a little ice would fall. And the last one, whoever hits one out and they all fall, then you lose. But then the other one was I think it was called something buckaroo or something like that, but it was a little spring action donkey. And so you'd set him down. So his little rear end was down at like hitch. Yeah. And then you'd add little pieces, they're little miner's tools. So you'd add these little miner's tools into those bags. Of course they were. And then when it got too heavy, it would keep pushing down. And all of a sudden it'd go and it'd spring and all the tools would go everywhere.
That would give, do you have anxiety issues? Because that would give me super anxiety as a kid.
I think I do.
That nervous, just like the Jack in the Box gave me huge anxiety.
Jack in the Box did me too because it was a freaking clown.
And I think we're gonna find out. I think if we could really dig, well, that's right. That's how your clown hate came from. Yeah. That's where. But that's what I think we'll find out if we really dug deep. That a lot of anxiety issues today are from kids games that we had when we were younger.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, because that's super anxiety. And even now, the games where you put your head through the hole.
Didn't you do Hungry Hippo?
Yeah, but that's not anxiety. That's just like eating hippos. Maybe that's some weight issues came from. But yeah, like the one with the clout where you put your head through that ring and you whatever game and the pie flies in your face.
I never had that.
Well, I don't remember
that.
Well, I didn't. It's a new game. It wasn't when we were young. I played it with the kids.
It was really. I think it was around before then.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't have it then, but playing it with the kids in the last 10 years and at parties.
Yeah,
man, super anxiety.
See,
not a fan, yeah.
See, I love that. Jessica just said Buckaroo is what it was called. My kids love that game.
I just think it's so on brand for you to have a game called Buckaroo.
Actually, still have the original. My mom brought it to me. Of course, she keeps bringing me all my shit. She keeps unpacking closets and like, here, I brought you some stuff. I'm like, Mom, I don't need the original Buckaroo.
I don't. And I used to think when my parents did that, like it was the rudest. Like, how dare you not want memories of your children? And now
keep them.
Shoes on the other foot. Go.
Get this.
Take it all. Here.
Operation Denise. Operation. And the buzzer?
Say Operation Denise. I've never heard of that game. Oh, yeah.
Denise just sent it. She said, Operation, you play it.
Denise, that's what I'm talking about. That is super anxiety and shaky.
Concentration. I don't know if I ever played that one, Laura. Concentration.
Is there a game
That's a shocker.
Is there a game called Scattered?
I was going to say there is, actually.
Is there?
That would be more likely.
There's a game called Procrastination.
Is there? Is that a game? I don't know if that's a game. Maybe in your own mind.
I'm a master.
Yeah. But yeah, all those games. What else did we used to play? I'm trying to think. Yeah, that Break the Ice or whatever it was called. Don't Break the Ice. That was a fun one. Tink, 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 tink. I remember playing that. Anybody have that?
Tink, tink,
anybody
tink.
Remember that one? The little Break the Ice or Don't Break the Ice or whatever it is. Just wondering. Jenga, absolutely, Katie. And Denise. Still get anxiety thinking about it. Perfection. That's where the shapes popped out. Goodness sakes, no pressure.
Seriously, no wonder
concentration, perfection.
Gosh, I mean, really.
Wow, those are some good games.
Anxiety. No wonder we have terrible self-images of ourselves these days.
Oh, yeah. My kids had Don't Break the Ice. Denise wrote that one in. All right. See, I remembered. And then when you were real little, you had like the Chutes and Ladders and you had the
Candyland, like
all
those kind of games,
board games and the Candyland.
I remember playing. My parents and grandparents taught me card games. I remember playing Rook when I was like 10. At Christmas,
did you play for money?
I don't think so. No, we didn't play. Maybe we did.
My grandma
I don't
Norma, we
remember.
played for money. It's pennies, but we played for. She played bridge,
Mhm.
and so they got serious. And the bridge ladies would gather like I don't know if it was weekly, but it was a big deal if I'm hosting bridge. And so they'd have all the card tables set up in their house and they'd have the tablecloths and they'd have little munchies and finger sandwiches and all that. And they'd come in, they'd be dressed to the nines because this was like
It's like the Sopranos executive poker game.
it was like an out to it really was. I mean,
Mhm.
they'd show up and they'd have their pennies and they'd have the little bowl of pennies and they'd play bridge and there'd be 8 or 12 of them ladies together. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Get hoot and hollering over.
Yeah. But
and-
grandma did. She taught me poker. She taught me how to play poker. And
Card games are more fun.
Yeah.
I love some board games now as an adult, like Yahtzee. I like. Can never figure out Yahtzee's still a little too complicated for me. But
I like Yahtzee too. I did
Yahtzee's
that,
fun.
Yeah.
There are some other games that we play now. One's Blocus, is it one? And Rummy Cube is one. And because I've always wanted to learn how to play Gin Rummy, and it's kind of the same concept. So I think I could probably transition over to that better because Rummy Cube is really fun.
I've never played that one.
It's super fun.
Interesting. Barrel of Monkeys was another little game you could play.
Mm-hmm.
Simple minded.
Totally.
I love these. These are all fun. Oh God, my friend's kid got their fingers stuck. What in the the pooping dog game? I don't know what that
I don't know
is.
if that's a game, Denise. I think your
I
think your friend's kid got taken, got bullied, and that dog.
The shapes you had to fit them all in before the spring shot them all out. There's another one, anxiety, right?
Yeah.
The timer. The timer.
It's the ticking of the timer. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, those games, those are great. I love board games though. The board games are all fun.
That was not a conversation I expected we
Well,
would have today.
I didn't either because the funny thing is I like board games. I liked them, so I never had them as a kid. I remember playing, like you said, Candyland.
Well,
That was really little.
The only games you can play as a kid without
As an
brothers
only
and sisters
child?
is solitaire and throw stuff in the ditch.
Yeah.
Those are the only two games you can really play without siblings.
Right. And I've probably
Although-
talked about this before. One Christmas, I got 2 of the same game, and it was called Gnip Gnop.
Yeah, you've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Because I'd never heard of that game before.
And you can't play it by yourself. You cannot play Gnip Gnop by yourself. I'm like, and I got 2 of them. It's like, seriously, you guys know your audience. Come on.
Rub it in.
I'm just like,
Right? Yeah, how about stay away from board games. Oh man, you would have been a big gamer, like video gamer back in the day, probably.
Oh, huge. I remember when we got the Intellivision.
yeah. Because then you could be like,
that
oh my
was
gosh, I don't
huge.
have to talk to anybody. I can play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me and my little AI friend. Yeah.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, so we had something completely different planned for this first 10 minutes, but let's just roll because we've got a bunch of new shows and we've got a bunch of new people that we've met lately
Mhm.
that are doing shows. And so they have video podcasts, which that's what we're kind of dipping our toe in right now, doing the Facebook Live. But along with that, these people are doing actual video podcasts. And so we took some clips from
Yeah, well, and a lot of our
some
shows,
them.
they're some are new in the last month, and
Yeah.
other ones like Hollywood Raw been around for a while.
Mhm.
And
the Hollywood Raw, that's going to be last. You got to see this because
it's amazing.
it's hilarious. It's like it's a blink of an eye, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's an upcoming guest, and it's awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, and
Okay.
we've had Sasha here works with us, and we've talked about Meathead Test Kitchen. That's her podcast, her and Sadie's podcast,
Which is nutrition, working out,
right?
all that good stuff.
And,
Okay.
And she asked, I said, we want a clip for the show today so we can play it. And she's like, do I have to beep the cuss words? I'm like, can you try to find one without cuss words? And she's like, can't find one without cuss words.
And this is even a light cuss word.
Right.
All right. Shout out to Target's Halloween section this year because you're the real MVP. Like, you look at any pictures and you see all my Halloween shit up all year long. Where does it come from? Target.
Gracias.
Yeah. Thank you for being there for us. They just need to have a section called Goth Housewares 24/7, 365. And
Yes.
it's just Halloween shit. Let's make it a thing. Goth Housewares.
Can't do it if you can't say it.
It was
Goth Housewares.
that was 25 seconds, 2 cuss words.
Two
I'm
cuss
saying,
words.
and that was as far apart as they
That
get
was-
right there.
The best part was Goth Housewares.
That's hard to say.
Goth Housewares.
Goth Housewares. Goth Housewares. That's hard to say.
Okay.
A second one is a show called X Appeal, and it is a show that's been around for a minute. It's been like 17, 18 episodes, and they came over to our network. Jen Lammers, who works at Extra, and her ex-boyfriend, Julian, they dated a couple of years ago. broke up. Now she is about ready to have a baby in another relationship.
Not
he is
his.
yeah, no, not his baby. But they do a show together called X Appeal, and they're hilarious. And yeah, we're really happy to have this on Her Dat Network.
So what do you forecast then for Benifer 2.0?
I don't think they're gonna last because, and that has nothing. I think because from what I've heard, she's a nightmare. Like her life is like she doesn't drink sugar, coffee, alcohol, anything. It's just like you don't.
She lives a healthy lifestyle.
She lives a healthy lifestyle, but to a certain extreme where like you can't do shit. Like I live a very healthy lifestyle.
Like dating Tom Brady.
Listen, I live a very, very healthy lifestyle. Okay,
Yeah.
I work out but I'll still have a dessert once in a while. Like, and I'll still do that. Like, and I think she doesn't. And him, I remember a few people, that I know, two, who matched with him on Raya, but I'm not gonna say who. And for some reason, like he's just out there in the DMs.
Not now.
Not now.
He would have to be stupid to be
DMs.
on Raya or a dating app when he's with Jennifer Lopez.
I mean, yeah, stupid.
Interesting. Well, now I see what happened with Jennifer Garner, because she's also, I think that she lives a like nice little clean lifestyle. And I wonder, did he just like misrepresent the goods?
Yeah,
with both of them. Yeah.
Although he looks super good now, like he's
cleaned up.
He's leveling up. He looks like it. He's leveling up. But yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he had some vices.
Yeah, still does.
Apparently.
So
okay.
Anyway, so this is Hollywood Raw, and this week they had Mariana White on, who is bosun on Below Deck Med, and she had a big announcement on their episode this week.
You have a new podcast coming out. Tell us about this podcast.
I do, yeah. It's going to be called The Total Ship Show.
I'm Mariana White, real-life bosun and cast member on Bravo's Below Deck Med. Working in my industry can be very interesting. These are my stories. Welcome to Total Ship Show.
And we're just going to talk all things ships. So a lot of stories that I've had with, a cool thing about being in this industry is I meet a lot of fascinating like captains and engineers and people that just have these wild stories at sea. And I'm a nerd when it comes to those stories, and I thought maybe some other people out there might enjoy it too.
Dude, people are obsessed with Below Deck. I mean, in full transparency, we've been trying to get Below Deck cast members for quite some time because people are so obsessed with the show and your guys' storylines and all kinds of stuff. And it took our network, Her Dat, signing you to get this connection going. So big shout out to Her Dat. We're excited for your podcast. It doesn't debut until the beginning of the year. Is that correct? When do we get to hear the first episode of your show?
Yeah, probably around the beginning of the year. I'm kind of stuck in France at the moment, so when I can get back and kind of get in the studio, then we'll have something out by the end of the year.
Okay, so here's another question. How are you going to keep up the recording? Is this going to be, you're going to do episodes while you're on the yacht, like downstairs, or like what's your plan?
I don't really have a plan. I think I'm going to figure that out as we go, but I can get a weekend here or there to go back.
If she doesn't do a show while she's below deck, it's fraud.
That's funny. Never thought about that. You're right. Talk about bait and switch. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. That's super fun. So this is the one you were talking about. This is a guest that it's already, they already talked to her, obviously, but it's not going to be for a couple of weeks. What's that?
I was just, go ahead.
No, okay.
Because the show, I mean, the TV show, off the charts.
Yes.
People were like binging it repeatedly, more than once, because there was so much to take in.
And thanks to the pandemic, we were all home. Yes. During Tiger King 2, the second season is coming in mid-November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why they got Carol.
Carol Baskin. And leave it to Adam.
So bottom line, Carol, you did not, or did you kill your husband?
Yeah. She's not expecting that. She was not expecting that. And everybody in the office couldn't believe that they were talking to her. So everybody's around watching. You heard, I think you heard it down the hallway too. And as soon as he said that, everybody just erupted like, you can't. And there was only like 20 minutes into the interview. It's like, dude, she's going to hang up. Hold on.
So bottom line, Carol, you did not, or did you kill your husband?
The look on her face. The look on her face is just classic.
Like, this is how I looked when I killed him.
Oh, God. And her
so now
answer,
you know my look of death, because she wants to kill him now.
Her answer is unbelievable. So anyway, that's a couple weeks down the road for Hollywood Raw.
Very good.
So yeah, it's fun. Got a lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff happening on the network.
Very good. And Laura wrote in, MTK is so great.
They are great.
We will pass that along. the girls do a lot of hard work to get those shows ready to go.
Yeah.
So that's why they cuss so much.
It's right. Who am I going to tell them not to?
They're jacked.
Well, both of them individually are stronger than both you and I together. So
each one individually. Exactly. Yes, this is true.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll absolutely pass that along. So appreciate that, guys. All right.
So
So
that was it. Thank you guys. And the comments are awesome. And even though,
Mm-hmm.
so this also comes out as a bonus episode tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So if you didn't get to watch it, it'll be out tomorrow morning and you'll be able to listen to it and still get on, comment on the video, and we'll be in touch with you guys and text us. You can do that 402-403-9478.
and a new episode coming out this afternoon. If
That's
you're
right.
watching live right now, yep, the regular episode will be out this afternoon after 4.
It's got episodes all over the place.
Yeah.
Just sprouting
Gotta
everywhere.
get them organized.
Right. Well, thank you guys for watching and or listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Huda Media Production.